And finally on the show today, we will join Channel television correspondent Abidemi Dairo at Digital Studios, where he will be speaking with Barry Jenkins about his new movie. Hello, Abidemi. So I hear there is a Lion King prequel around the corner. Fill us in on that.
Oh yes, Ewalua, there is a new Lion King movie around the corner. This one is a sequel and a prequel at the same time. You wonder how that is, right? I'll tell you. So this new story in present day is a sequel and has the usual suspects: Simba, his wife Nala, their daughter Kiara, Timon and Puma, and everyone else. Then it also goes back to the origin story of Mufasa, that's Simba's father. So you see one miniature in present day and the next you're like 2 generations back. I know this because I got to watch a pre-release version last week, and I am now being joined on the program by Barry Jenkins, the man behind the new title. Many thanks for joining us on the program, Barry, and a big congratulations to you.
Thank you.
So to start with, how big a decision was this for you, directing a new title in such an iconic franchise? Did you have initial worries or pressure?
I always have initial worries and pressure when I take on a project, but there's no denying that this project is different than the other projects. When you make a movie that is stepping into the legacy of something that has existed for 30 years, that people love, that has been successful for 30 years, there's a great responsibility with that. To me, though, it just came down to the characters. Once I read the script of this film and I saw very clearly how the characters and the themes connected to my previous work, the things that I felt like I really knew how to do well, that really alleviated that pressure. And then it was just about figuring out how to make the best film I could.
Awesome. So how did you approach exploring the background story of Mufasa, seeing how there is a deviation from the earlier narrative of his royal background?
Yeah, I don't know if the narration has changed about his heritage as the royal. If you go back and really watch the original film, there are certain things that are maybe alluded to or hinted at, but they're not directly stated. And so we felt like we had a lot of freedom to sort of go in and look into the nuances of how these characters could potentially become the characters that they are. I think we fill in a lot of spaces. We fill in a lot of gaps. Because James Earl Jones is so great, because Mufasa is so great, because he's perfect, we assume he arrived at that place through the perfect path. And I love the idea of getting to play with a story format where the perfect path is not what you expect it to be. I think, honestly, in real life, that's often how, great people, or I hope that's how great people, sort of learn these lessons through life. They go through trials and tribulations, as my editor likes to say. And so, I don't know, I felt like it was a very deep and engrossing process to go through and really look into the mess of how Mufasa came to be the character he is.
Well, staying on the Mufasa character, did you consider the cultural significance of such an iconic character as a symbol of Black excellence?
Absolutely, I did, of course. But I'm going to cut off that last part of excellence, I think that we're all just very complex human beings. And I love the idea of, here's this person who, for 30 years, we've known him as a monarch, as a king. I love the idea of now getting to show him as purely a human, as a person, and then these other things, these titles, they can be earned through experience. I thought that was a very wonderful thing and very worthwhile to explore. Now, as far as the idea of Mufasa, of the Lion King as an African icon, I think these characters, this story format is so massive globally. For some people, especially children, it is their first sort of experience of the continent of Africa. I feel like that required a great deal of responsibility of me to really lean in and listen to the people from the continent who were involved in the film. People like Kagiso, like Tuso, like Lebo M, especially Dr. John Connie. When they spoke, when they gave opinions about culturally why this and not that, why it was right to say it this way and not that way, why this music needed to be here and not that, I had to listen because it is their story, not mine. I think being respectful of that really elevated the story.
Well, speaking about the character, this new movie provides a full debut for Grammy-winning Blue Ivy. Yeah, how did she perform, and what would you say is the most outstanding part of her performance?
I think the most astounding part of her performance is that, it takes 4 years to make these films. The first thing that happens is that we record the voices. So what you're hearing in this film is like a 10-year-old Blue Ivy performing. I think as the movie goes on, she has more and more scenes that grow in complexity. And I was just really impressed. We have this saying in the States, from the mouths of babes. And it's like sometimes the greatest wisdom can come from the youngest persons. And I was amazed at how well she understood the complexity, the nuances of what that character Kiara is going through. She was absolutely fantastic, and she did it as a 10-year-old person.
Many thanks again, Barry. I know I must let you go now, although I would have loved to speak to you about the Hakuna Matata track, which also returned, but I know we are totally out of time. Many thanks again, and have a good luck.
Respect.
And that's it from here. It's back to Ewolua. Thank you.
You were saying?
That is all we have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. For more entertaining content like this, you know what to do. Follow us quickly across all social media handles scrolling right now on your screen. Yes, one simple click will take you where exactly you need to be. I am Ewolua Ogunbodede, and I cannot wait to see you soon.